Ready? Ciao and buonasera. I will be cooking another interesting meal today. It's a pizza focaccia, another one that you can do with your children, and I fully recommend you do. It's really fun and interesting. Very briefly, I'm not going to bore you as everything is in the description. I've got three areas. Left hand side is my base area. Then I've got here some of the filling and in terms of what I'm going to be using, which I already prepared. And on the right hand side is my cheese and ham area. So let's make a start, shall we? Earlier I peeled and boiled some potatoes. These are now cold, so I will be starting by pouring them in. And by all means, if you go a potato mash, I use one of those, but I really don't like them. I don't like washing them, so I prefer for this small amount to use a fork. So I'm going to be mashing them until I get them down to a pulp. Perfect, job done, and I have to be honest and admit, Julie helped.
It's my big contribution.
This is not too dissimilar to making gnocchi to an extent in terms of base. So this is strong bread flour, what we use to make bread. I will be adding it to the potatoes. Followed by a generous pinch of salt. And this is one sachet of quick yeast, the same as what you would use to make bread. Followed by a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. 1 and 2. And by all means, start with your fork if you like I am, but I will have to get my hands in there in a moment. Sleeves up and dive in. And I've been kneading this now for a good 3-4 minutes and I'm happy that that is the consistency I'm looking for, so you're touching it and it doesn't get stuck to your hands anymore. If you find that it's a bit dry, just add a little water, not a lot though, you can always add a little bit more until you're happy that you get something similar to this. So I'll make a little bowl and I'll place on top of some cling film and I'll leave it now to rest for 15 to 20 minutes while I get on with the preparation of the other ingredients. Like any pizza, the most important part is clearly the dough, also the tomato sauce and of course the mozzarella that you use. And I'm going to be using some cherry tomatoes for this, but I will only be using half of the tin. I don't need it all, and I'll leave the other half for a recipe I'm doing tomorrow, which will be something with fish and something with rice. But that will be something you need to wait for.
Yeah.
I should be blending this really with a mixer or something, but again, I think in this particular case, I'm gonna do it with the fork. 2 reasons really. Number one, because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to go and get a blender. But also because I like the idea that you get chunky tomatoes in your pizza focaccia. And also it's easy anyway. All you need to do is just... oops, not that. Wow. I'm wearing it now, look.
All over his lovely clean apron.
Another secret ingredient of a good tomato base is olive oil, so I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon. And of course it would not be a pizza without any oregano.
Oregano.
Pinch of salt and some pepper. I actually went to a pizzaiolo, which is the pizza man in Sicily, one day, and I asked what do you put in a pizza sauce, and that is exactly what he told me to do. Nothing fancy, very, very simple. And mix everything together. And my tomato sauce is ready.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. So, 15 minutes have gone by and my dough has rested for a little bit. So let's have a look at it. Yeah, looks good. I'll do one further kneading to make sure that I'm happy with it. And it looks and feels pretty good. I want to make 4 pieces out of this, as I'm making 2 pizzas, and I'm rolling it so that it is even. There it is, pretty much okay. So here's the middle. I'll cut in half, and then half again, and half again.
I thought for one moment there you were going to do 2 at the same time.
There you go. And I'm going to make
like a proper
pizza maker, yes. So here's 4 balls, all done.
I'm square.
Yeah, I don't
squares,
know.
Are we?
No, I don't know, it's not doing well. Let me see if it comes up. No, it's not. It's a catastrophe, Julie. It's a disaster. Apply a little flour on your worktop and off you go with your first bowl. And using a rolling pin, try and give it a round shape.
Good luck with that, everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the best at this, but I'll try my best.
I've made many a pizza and they've ended up square or tear shaped, very odd shapes, nothing round.
Doesn't matter as long as the taste okay.
It looks lovely. But out of interest, what do you call rolling pin in Italian?
Rolling pin is mattarello. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Never had that one before. Then again, I've never used one in Italy.
This is as round as I can get it. And using a spatula, I'm now going to make sure that it's no longer attached to the worktop and looks okay. I'm going to apply a little olive oil at the base of a frying pan. And using my hands, I will spread it across its base. And I'm going to be placing my first layer for my focaccia pizza. And using my fingers, I'm now going to make it slightly bigger so that it covers the entire surface. So it doesn't matter if it's not round when you are rolling it, because you can then play with it once it's in your pan. Again, if you're making this with your children, I'm sure they'll love doing that. I've rolled my next ball ready, and here it is, and I'm gonna leave it here while I get on with my pizza. So I'll start with the tomato. And like you do with every pizza, always the first thing that goes on is your tomato as the base. And make sure that you stay away from the edges, maybe 1 to 2 centimeters. So, but obviously put enough to make it nice and rich. And I'm now adding some mozzarella cheese. If you ever go to Italy and you watch them making pizza, that is always how they start when they make a pizza: tomato and mozzarella, regardless of what ingredients you have. Of course, unless you don't have any tomato in it, or mozzarella, but that is the basic standard pizza. And we always ask for extra mozzarella because we like it nice and cheesy, so that's what I'm doing today. So we will make this one Julie's, and I'll give it a choice, but just to show you what I've done. Today, earlier on, I fried some aubergines, 1 aubergine, some pepper, and also some spinach, mushrooms, onion, and here I've got some ham, mozzarella of course, and Parmesan. So Julie, what would you like in yours? Everything?
Yeah.
I thought so.
This reminds me of when I make the pizzas, when we do them in the pizza oven.
Yes.
I always get bowls with everything in, and everybody comes in and just puts on their pizza what they want.
Indeed. That's a lot of fun actually with the kids.
Flippin' messy though. That's the only thing. You end up with food everywhere, flour everywhere.
Still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No pain, no gain.
Oh my God, looks so good.
The good thing about doing this way is that because we're going to be putting another layer on top, it doesn't matter that there is an awful lot, because you're going to be able to close it. So then you can really have a good pizza. Would you like some Parmesan cheese on top as well?
Oh yeah. I should have said as the Pope Catholic, really. Ooh, look at that. She's so pretty.
And before I put the top on, I just sprinkle a little olive oil. Not a lot, just a little. Get hold of the top and quite simply lay it on top. And using your fingers, just go along and seal the edges.
Italian equivalent to a pie.
Maybe.
Or a Cornish pasty. And
if you can, try and get hold of the edges and fold them back towards the center so that you are creating a really good seal. Doesn't matter if it's not tight, but it will be good and it look pretty as well. And to finish off, to ensure that you have given it a nice and tight closure, just go along with the fork and mark it. And one last drizzle of olive oil on top. And do use your hand or a brush if you like to ensure that it covers the entire surface. So I turn the temperature on high, the maximum for the time being, and it's beginning to sizzle now. Yep, I can hear the little sizzling of the oil. So I'll place the lid on and I'll turn it down to a medium to low, number 4 out of 9 in my case. If you've got a gas hob, I would recommend even lower, maybe the minimum or just above the minimum, because mine electric one is a little bit temperamental. In the meantime, I'll go on with the other pizza, or the other focaccia pizza. So see you in a little while. Right, I've been cooking for approximately 7 minutes, and the most difficult part has been trying to keep Julie away from lifting the lid. So I will be turning it around now. To check that everything is going well, get a little rubber spatula and go in and just dislodge it from the bottom first. And you can see actually it's moved already. If it's moving, you are
It's a good sign.
You're doing well. Try and find a suitable plate that ideally fits inside so that you do not have to play any magic. And put your hand on top and very assertively, don't be afraid, turn it around. There you go.
Smells yummy. Now slide it in.
Before I slide it in though, because I'm a bit of a wimp, I'm going to be putting a little bit more olive oil at the bottom. And slide it in.
Lid? No lid?
Yep. I'll put the lid back on now for another 5 minutes until it's ready. So 5 minutes on and I think we're done. And the way to check it is by ensuring that it slides. And it's lovely. And there is no need to do any magic tricks anymore now. You just slide it on top of your plate. And I'll leave this for a couple of minutes while I get on with the next one. So the second one is on the go here, and the first one is now been cooling down for about 3 or 4 minutes. But Julie cannot wait any longer.
No,
She says she has to have some.
It's tea time.
We're gonna be cutting it and see what it looks like. I could do with a better knife. I decided to swap knife because that one didn't cut very well. That was this one. Let's try again. There you go. That's better. And I'm going to be very elegant today, using a spatula. Ooh, very nice.
Looks lovely.
Looks really, it smells delicious.
Yeah.
And while I wait for the second one to finish, I'm going to pinch some of Julie's focaccia pizza. This
I
is
don't
Julie's.
think I can eat all of that. I think it's a
No,
half each.
But probably.
I think we need to share one.
Still very, very hot though. Oh my god. You wait, Julie, until you try this. It's really delicious. It's full of flavors and potatoes and the potatoes in the dough, they really, you can taste them as well. Lovely. Really delicious. And if you do make it, do involve your children. They are going to love this, and I'm sure you're going to love it too. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you make it, let me know. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. See you later. Bye.